Today we're diving into a very particular kind of loneliness. It's one that a lot of people feel but maybe don't have the words for. It's not about being alone in a room, it's about feeling completely unseen while you're surrounded by people who rely on you for everything. We're talking about the loneliness of being the therapist friend.
Just take a second with that. There is a specific kind of loneliness that comes from being the person everyone talks to but no one truly sees. Wow. That sentence right there, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures what we're going to break down in this explainer.
I mean, be honest with yourself for a second. Are you the one whose phone is constantly blowing up with someone else's emergency? Are you the one who spends hours listening, nodding, and giving advice, basically holding all this space for everyone else's life dramas? If that sounds familiar, well, you're in the right place.
Okay, so let's really get into the nitty-gritty of what this feeling actually is. Because as you're about to see, it's way, way deeper than just being a good listener. And this is the central paradox, right? You become this vault for everyone else's secrets, their fears, all the messy parts of their lives. You're so important to them. But when does the conversation ever turn to you? It's like you're on a one-way street of emotional support. And believe me, that is a very lonely place to be. Now, what's really interesting is that this isn't just some vague feeling you've made up. In psychology, this whole dynamic actually has a name. And sometimes just being able to name a thing is the first step toward really understanding it. It's called the emotional container role.
So think of it like this. You've been cast, without ever auditioning, in the role of the emotional container. Your whole function in the group is to absorb and hold everyone else's emotional baggage. You take on their stress, their anxiety, their drama. You contain it for them so they don't have to.
So, does this sound like you? When things go wrong, you're the first person they call. You notice that you do like 90% of the listening in your conversations. And you hear this all the time. Oh, you're just so easy to talk to. It's meant as a compliment, but it also kind of locks you into that role. And the biggest one? You almost never share what you're really going through.
So the big question is, how does this happen? And more importantly, why does it keep happening? Well, it's all driven by a specific kind of transaction that's going on under the surface.
It's this idea of emotional outsourcing. So instead of people doing the really hard internal work of processing their own feelings, they just offload it onto you. They're literally outsourcing their emotional regulation. You become their go-to for stress relief. And let's be real, that is an absolutely exhausting job, especially when you're not getting paid for it.
Okay, we've arrived at what I think is the most crucial part of this entire discussion. Why do we do this? Why do we end up in this role? It really boils down to this incredibly powerful difference between two fundamental human desires, being needed versus being known.
Let's look at this, because the difference is huge. Being needed is about playing a part. It feels good, right? It gives you validation, makes you feel important, but it creates dependency. Now, being known, that's totally different. That's about letting people see your real, authentic self, the good, the bad, all of it. And that doesn't create dependency, it fosters a real, true connection. But it requires a ton of vulnerability. And here we go! This is the heart of it. For a lot of people who fall into this therapist role, being needed is a defense mechanism. It's a shield. It lets you get close to people without taking the terrifying risk of being truly seen. If you're always busy holding their problems, you never have to expose your own. It's a subconscious way to protect yourself from getting hurt.
So after breaking all that down, the role, the dynamic, the deep down motivation, what now? What does this all mean for you? Well, it's time to kind of turn that lens inward for a moment.
So I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about. If any of this resonated with you today, ask yourself, what would change if you started to choose being known over just being needed? What might it look like to share a tiny piece of your own burden, to prioritize a real connection over just being useful? Really, what would change if you let yourself be seen?